What's going on, Trojan family? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports, and this is your daily USC Trojans news. Huge recruiting news ahead of July 4th weekend. Had to jump on here. Fun little background out at WeWork right now, but hey, had to jump on and share the news with my Trojan family. But Boobie Feaster, 4-star wide receiver out of DeSoto, Texas, originally out of Louisiana. The 5th ranked wide receiver in the 2026 class, originally of the 2027 class, reclassified. He was the number 1 ranked receiver in that class. Just yesterday and June 30th, so the previous 2 days, he received 2 crystal balls for Texas A&M. Now, I talked yesterday. Our show was about, it was more just catching up after being on vacation, but I said, hey, I still feel pretty good about Feaster to the Trojans, but this is the latest crystal balls. Well, this morning, July 2nd, 5 crystal balls, expert predictions, whatever you want to call them, from the On3 Rivals team, all coming in for Feaster to USC. On the national scale, you have Sam Spiegelman and Steve Wiltfong putting in expert predictions. Probably the most trusted one in this, Scott Schrader, a good friend, USC insider, he put on a crystal ball. Regional, kind of, I think he's like Western regional, Max Torres. I know he does a lot with Oregon too. He put on a crystal ball. And then also Texas A&M insider Landon Rousseau, if I'm saying that right, he put a crystal ball. So he's the Texas A&M guy saying USC. All indications are that this is very similar, it feels like, to the Luke Wafel recruiting in terms that USC was in a good spot, and then, yesterday or the day before, the previous week, Texas A&M kind of, whether it was an NIL offer, whatever it may be, kind of took the lead again. And then Chad Bowden, as we know, as he has become, said, not so fast. We're getting this done. We're getting this across the finish line. USC, and I talked about it last time, so I won't belabor the point, but USC has shown during this cycle when they really want someone, it's happening, which is different, very different than what it's been in the past few years, even just last year, even just earlier in this cycle. And it seems like they're the ones that if they want a guy, they get it done. If it's kind of back and forth, they're the ones that say, okay, no, we'll move on. We'll go after someone else. It seems like Feaster is their guy. Dennis Simmons and Lincoln Riley have started recruiting Feaster back before he was in high school as an 8th grader out of Louisiana. So the relationship there is great. According to Scott Schrader at On3, Simmons, Riley, and Feaster almost talk daily still to this point after his official visit on June 6th to USC. He took 3 other official visits, Texas A&M, LSU, and Alabama. Seemingly it was going to come down to A&M and SC. It still is going to be that. We're still 48 hours or so from his announcement on July 4th. But as of now, it seems like USC is once again in the driver's seat. Now, what I will say, those are the On3 Rivals guys' crystal balls. I have spoken to people as well. I told you last week I felt good about it. I feel better about it now. So I also believe that Feaster will ultimately commit to the USC Trojans. Things can change. We've seen how quickly this is, especially in this new era of NIL negotiations. But I don't think USC will be outbid for anyone they want. And I think they view Feaster as a true wide receiver 1 in this system to be able to pair with Trent Mosley in the slot, Mark Bowman at tight end, among the other receivers they have. This would bring their 5 receivers in this class. So this would be a huge commitment, not just for how good he is, but also a statement yet again for Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans on this recruiting class. And the last little tidbit that I think I've talked about, I know I've written about it on LFBnetwork.com, but last little tidbit, Boobie Feaster, he's built relationships now with Jakeem Stewart, who's originally from Louisiana. Jakeem Stewart, one of the great player recruiters in the game today. Obviously already a freshman at USC. Started building a relationship with Jonas Williams, quarterback commit, who was with him on his official visit, spent a lot of time with him there. But all indications and reports are is he is, I don't want to throw around the word best friends, but really close friends with 2027 quarterback out of the state of Louisiana, Peyton Houston. Now, as you all know, as we've talked about, once USC decided that they were out essentially on Ryder Lyons, they turned all their eyes and resources to Peyton Houston to be their 2027 QB for that class. Boobie Feaster was originally 2027, now 26. So there's definitely rumors that wherever Feaster ends up, Houston will also end up. Now, it doesn't always work like that. Just because you're friends doesn't mean you're just going to follow your friend. But it certainly will help. I think USC is already a pretty large lead for Houston's recruitment of what they've already done. The family loves LA. They love Lincoln Riley. They love Chad Bowden. So I think they're already in a good spot anyway. But landing Feaster will just push them even closer to also landing Houston in 2027, who, when it's said and done, I think will end up being he is already one of the top 10 QBs in the class. I think he'll end up being top 3 or so based on how his junior season is going to go. And then he still has a senior season, obviously. We're talking 2 years down the line. So I'll be back, obviously, with more. We have more on this on LAFBnetwork.com. We have some on our message board. But as of now, July 2nd, feeling really confident that Boobie Feaster will end up committing to the USC Trojans, rounding out the 5 receivers in the class. I do believe, I know there's a lot of conversation about Jalen Lott, who he is committing or he's announcing on July 8th. I believe if Feaster does commit, that'll kind of close the door on that. I think USC is going to be happy with 5 receivers there. I'll never say never. They like Jalen Lott. They can see him doing different things than what Feaster does in a different role. So I'll never say never if they try to still go after both. But I believe if they land Feaster, they'll close the door on Lott and kind of shut that down, 5 wide receivers. If Feaster does end up choosing A&M, then I think we'll see USC go all out for Jalen Lott on July 8th. But we'll get to that after the 4th and see where we stand on that. So as of now, Feaster to SC, feeling really good. Keep it short and sweet. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you have not. We also just added channel memberships. I'll talk more about that in a later video, but channel memberships there, you get some cool perks. Plus, we are partnering with a lot of initiatives around Los Angeles to help with youth sports that a lot of USC current and former athletes are involved with. And so your membership, a percentage will go to those initiatives. So we want to get really involved in the community. That's something that's always been passionate on my help, is helping youth sports. I think sports are such a powerful tool of bringing people together, letting people escape everyday lives. And so if we can do our part to help those initiatives, I want to do that. So a lot of these memberships, I'll talk more on that once we truly build it out. But starting today, if you subscribe and sign up to become a member on the YouTube channel, a portion of that monthly payment will go to youth sports in LA. So for a good cause, would certainly help out. But as always, thank you for making this part of your day. I'm Ryan Dyrud, and as always, fight on.